Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
So one of the things that I started to realize as I began to walk this path was, I was asking myself, well, if I'm tied or if I come from a source that's always existed and can never die, then where was I at before I became into consciousness here on this planet? When it comes to man and creation, I don't think the problem is man knowing how to create. I think the problem is man knowing where to create. I think there's one thing that the majority of us can agree on. Regardless of our religion, regardless of our beliefs, our upbringings, I think that we can pretty much all agree that at the time that we die, that our souls or our spirits are going to return to the place from which it came, right? So I made a post on Instagram and I said, meditation is the cousin of sleep. Sleep is the sister of death. And death is the highest level of consciousness. Now, if this is true, then what does it say about the place that we'll be returning to one day? It says that we're still there. If that's going to be our highest level of consciousness, that must mean that we're still there. Now, to illustrate this a little better, picture a man in his bed sleep, right? Now, he may toss, he may turn, but we're not going to consider that man to be, fully aware until he wakes up, right? Now, the moment he wakes up out of his sleep, we consider that man to be fully conscious of his surroundings, fully conscious of who he is. Now, that's the same thing that's happening in this life, except that death is actually the opening of the eyes. So who is this content for? This content is for anyone who's ready to step outside of the box, right? This content is for anyone that's fully aware that there's more to learn in life that's going to put them in a different situation. This content is for anybody that's tired of the daily hustle, bustle, and stresses of everyday life, and they're ready for their life to take off in a different direction, right? Now, I made this content for 3 different reasons, right? The first reason is because I want for my brothers and my sisters, same thing I want for myself, right? I can think back to several years ago when I was going through several things and was contemplating suicide. And once I learned a few things, my life just took off almost overnight, right? So I want my brothers and sisters to have that same information. 2, you have to understand that, the middle class is going away. Growing up, we had access to see, the high class, the middle class, and the low class. But that middle class is slowly going away. This world is slowly transforming to, from a world that was the haves and the have-nots, is now transforming to a group of people that either have a certain certain piece of knowledge or those that don't, right? So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3 is because, I think it's important for people to know the science of enhancing their life, right? Because, anybody that's watching YouTube, anybody that's watching any kind of social media, we're flooded with ads that are saying, jump on this Amazon business, jump on this dropship business. And it's getting to the point where, the average person is saying, well, if you aren't doing these 1, 2, or maybe 3 things, like you can't win at life. But the thing is, when you look at people having success in these 2 or 3 different areas, really you're looking at the after effect. Now, the stuff that I'm going to teach you is the cause. The stuff that I'm going to teach you is what's going on behind the scenes. And once you know what's going on behind the scenes, then you can take that information and apply it to anything. So again, it's not about what you do. It's going to boil down to how you do it. The recipe. Let's talk about it.